Hi everyone, welcome to the 2019 iAwards overview presentation. Thank you for joining us today. This presentation will probably take about 30 minutes, and what we'll be covering today is a bit about the iAwards, who we are, the journey and what's involved, why you should enter, what categories we have available as well, the judging criteria. We'll touch on some key entry dates and some tips on judging as well. We've also got another video that we've previously recorded as well that you can view in this playlist. And this video is more for those who have decided they would like to enter. And it's a bit of a tutorial about how to, navigate yourself around the iAwards application form. So we'll move along. So just a bit about the iAwards. We have been recognising, celebrating and elevating Australian digital innovation for over 25 years. So we have unearthed homegrown Australian innovators from the likes of Atlassian, WiseTech Global and even Google Maps. So we are, once again for 2019, we're searching for the next outstanding digital innovators who are creating a positive change for our community and who are changing the lives of everyday Australians. And this can be across any Australian market, and we'll go through the categories further down in this video. So the iAwards journey, it's quite, we like to call it a journey because we've got different rounds and different levels. So we've got not only a state and a national round, but we also go to an international level too. So one can say it's a bit of a process, a bit of a journey, but one that is very, very, very rewarding. So the journey starts off, you go to our website and you complete a written application, which has a series of questions, and that's the judging criteria that you'll be answering in those questions. And the judges will assess them online over a period of about 2 weeks. And you get assessed on a state-by-state basis. So you're essentially in round one in that written application competing on a state level. In about May and June, we will announce who the winners are in every state. So we call them the state winners, or you can also be referred to as the national finalists. So once we sort of know who our national finalists are, we then come together around August, and everyone is invited to do a face-to-face pitch to our judges as well. And it's usually to about 4 to 6 judges in a room. And you will then be competing, just say you won a state award for a category, you'll be then competing with all the other state winners in those categories as well as a national finalist. So we then continue on for Pitch Fest, which is a public-facing showcase, which is an opportunity to really, exercise and repeat the same pitch that you did to judges, but you might want to modify it a little bit because it's now in an open forum, and it's a really great opportunity to expose your brand and to give yourself that, that presence within the industry. We then continue on to announce who our national winners are at the National iAwards Gala Dinner. And this is a fantastic evening, which normally has about 700 people in attendance. And it's, once again, a really great opportunity to network, to really showcase your brand and your innovation. Our national winners are then invited to travel overseas to take the centre stage internationally. And we call that event a PICTA. So a PICTA stands for the Asia Pacific ICT Awards, and it changes every year in different countries. In 2018, we were in Guangzhou in China. The year before that, we were in Dhaka in Bangladesh. And for 2019, it's very exciting. We will be going to Vietnam, which is very exciting, and you'll be competing against 16 other economies in the Asia Pacific region. So To get to that stage is such an achievement, and you're essentially the best of the best that's going internationally. And if you take out any international awards, which Australia does do, then that's really good validation of your ideas, and you've gone through such a great process, I guess, to receive that recognition. So if you're wondering, is the iAwards for me? Should I enter? Just ask yourself these two questions. Is your innovation changing Australia's future? Or is your digital innovation, does it have the potential to make a difference in any community in Australia or around the world? If you've answered yes to either of those questions, then definitely you should consider entering the iAwards. It's definitely a process that you should be part of. So the opportunities with the iAwards, you can showcase your project, and you can showcase your project in up to 3 competition stages. So a state level, a national level, and an international level. You can receive valuable feedback from our judges and industry experts. You can gain access to mentoring workshops as well. So through the national round, we have 2 key presentations that we give our national finalists, and we give them tips on how to present and tips on how to really meet the judging criteria as well. So what feedback that I've heard from past entrants is that the iAwards is a really great opportunity to really build your business case, and they use sort of the framework of the iAwards, and it helps formulate pitches and business cases for future opportunities as well. You could be pitching for investments. So it's such a worthy and worthwhile opportunity, and you will definitely get that feedback along the way in mentoring. You have the chance to participate in our innovation showcases. So we have these on a state level and a national level. And we have the National Pitch Fest as well, that takes place in August. And lastly, if you do take out any awards, or even if you're not a winner, we do like to promote our entrants in the lead up to the gala dinners. So there's a really good opportunity to be showcased in our social media or in our PR as well. So just a quick snapshot of our past winners, and you might recognise a few people here. So on the top left, we have Atlassian, who I believe might have entered as a startup all those years ago, and we know the success that they've gained as well. So they started off, at the iAwards, and they really sort of kick-started their career. So we've got Atlassian there with the Gyro Help Desk. On the top right, we've got the Shark Spotter, which is a drone that is created by the Little Ripper Group and UTS, University of Technology, Sydney. And they use artificial technology to detect 17 objects in the ocean. So these can be people, sharks, and crocodiles. And they also went forward to a Pictor, and they took out the Artificial Intelligence of the Year award in the Asia Pacific competition. So that's a great achievement there. On the bottom left, we have Augment Space for their self-serve 360 virtual tour creation platform. So this is a piece of technology that is that benefits the real estate community. And then on the bottom right, we have CodeBots, who also made it to a Pictor as well. And they basically are robots that write your own code. So who should enter the iAwards? Organisations are encouraged to enter. You could be an organisation that has your own project, or you might be working in consultation with multiple companies. So definitely, if you want to do an individual or a joint entry as a company, you're most welcome to do that as well. Individuals who might have their own projects can also enter as well, who have an ABN. We definitely welcome students who are working together with their classroom, maybe on a team project. Or you could have your own project outside of the classroom as an individual student or a team of students as well. And you might want to enter as well. And we also encourage startups. So in particular, startups who are less than 3 years old actually have free entry into the iAwards. So there's lots of opportunities for everyone to enter. And once again, we do encourage and entries from multiple Australian markets. You could be in healthcare, real estate, government. You could have a technology that focuses on cybersecurity, for example. So definitely we encourage everyone. So if you're a student, we have 3 core categories for students. And these categories are the junior student category, which includes primary school up until year 9. We have senior students from years 10 to 12. And we have an undergraduate student category as well, which includes anyone who is enrolled in a tertiary education provider. So that could be in TAFE, in college, or at university. Once again, student entries are free to enter. So there's nothing to lose, and it's really simply just filling out a few questions, submitting, and you never know where the journey will take you. So definitely, if you're thinking about entering, you have nothing to lose, really. If you're a postgraduate student, then you must enter under the organisational categories, which we'll go through next in the next slide. And we recommend that you select the R&D category. So moving along to the organisational categories. Any organisation can enter in up to 3 categories. And so obviously those categories must be relevant to your innovation. But our first categories are the core categories. So what you see on the left-hand side, you must select one of those 5 core categories. And those categories are really sort of focused around your core target market. So you might actually find yourself in multiple categories. You might have a product that serves the general consumer. It might be a shopping app or a retail app. So you might find yourself in consumer markets, but you could also have a B2B product, that same product, and might see yourself in business services. So really what I tell people for that is, if you're struggling to find the best category for you or to select the right category, you've got a couple of options. Ask yourself, what's your best business case that you can present in this iAwards program? Remember that you'll need to validate your ideas, you need to support your arguments, put evidence into your answers as well. So you might position yourself, or you might want to market yourself in this iAwards journey, a certain way, and you might have a stronger business case in a particular market. So that's one way to ask, one question to ask. But secondly, if you're really keen and you're really passionate about putting yourself in more than one core category, then you could actually create more than one entry. So you could potentially fill out these answers twice in 2 separate entries. So that is okay as well. And we do sometimes have people doing that. But for an entry itself, you can only enter in one core category. So pick one core category there and then move along, and we've got a technology category that you can also choose. So we've identified 3 award categories there, but if your technology doesn't really apply to one of these 3 categories, then in the application form you can drop down and select general. And this category, general, means that you'll still be judged for your technology, but you won't be in the running for a technology award as such. We still need to ask technology questions because we're an innovation awards program, but we just keep it broad. So you can either choose a core technology category, which is infrastructure and platforms, data insights, which last year we called it big data, or you've got automation technologies, which includes your AIs, your IoTs, and your machine learning, or you can choose a general category to be judged in. Now, our next category is our stage categories, and this won't apply to everyone, but it's for those who are in a certain stage in their innovation. So you either have to choose from R&D or Startup of the Year, and if you don't apply to those, then you'll keep that section blank in the application form. Some other awards that you can be in the running for as well During round one, which is our state competition, we occasionally have Premier's Awards, and last year we had, in 3 different states, we had these awards. And generally what we do is we take the public sector and government categories, and we take the community categories, and those entries will then automatically be put into those Premier Awards categories. It really depends on how we go with getting these awards sort of as part of the competition. And our next round of other awards is in round 2, and we have the AAA Innovation of the Year Award and the Victorian Inspiration of the Year Award as well. And these are assessed by our category judges during round 2, which is the national round as well. So here's a quick snapshot of the judging criteria. And you can see that, we ask some market questions. We ask to describe the solution. What's your 12-month roadmap? How is your solution unique? And what is the impact of the solution? So we also have, what I encourage you to do is just to sign up and have a play with the application form. There's also hint boxes on that page as well, on the application form, which extends and elaborates on these dot points. So we really sort of give you tips, and we want to guide you in how to best answer the question, and we prompt you. So what you see here, it's actually expanded in the application form. And we also have technology questions, which again, we give you hints and tips on how to best answer those questions. And it's really what you see is the judging criteria. So that's what the judges get as well, and that's how they're marking you. For students, it's very similar as well. We want to know that you understand what's the problem being solved and what is your business context. We ask, how is your solution unique? Have you looked at what other trends are setting? Have you validated your market, your innovation in the market? What technology have you created, and what is your innovation? And then we ask for a question or a section on quality and application, and it's about user experience and have you experimented? Have you assessed to make sure it works? Have you got evidence of, have you got data or anecdotal evidence to suggest that what you're doing has a need and is making a difference? So once again, I encourage you to create an entry online and just have a play. There's various tabs. Flick through all the tabs, make sure you understand what is being asked, because you don't want to get to the end when entries are due and you realise that you can't submit your entry because you've missed some information, or you haven't realised that it's taken you a bit longer than you might have anticipated. So I encourage you to start early and just have a play, just to get a really good understanding of what's involved. And there's also a word count as well. So you want to make sure that you're within that word count, and that you're writing clearly and concisely as well. So our next slide just gives you a snapshot of the key dates. And when we talk about the iAwards journey, you can really see it is a journey. It's a 12-month journey essentially. So we start with our entries are open currently at the moment. And on the 11th of January 2019, we will close our early bird entries. If you do enter with the early bird rate and you submit your entry, you can actually continue to amend your entry up until the final close, which is the 21st of February. Now, this date is for organisations. Students, your entry date of closure is the 13th of March. Now we move on to our judging, which normally takes place in April. And we have about, just for some interest, we have about 90 judges all across Australia that are judging your entries. And so it's a big team effort. We use the best of the best within the industry. And our judges have been doing this for many years. So they will identify our state winners and merit recipients. And then we go on to the celebrations in May and June. And we travel around Australia, and every state will have their own iAwards state gala dinner. We then go on to our iAwards national judging, which takes place in August. So between June and August, we actually go through some mentoring sessions with you, and we try to sort of give you all the advice that you need in preparation for national judging. So national judging, once I mentioned before, it's a face-to-face presentation, which normally takes place in Melbourne. And this is then followed by a public-facing competition, which what we call is Pitch Fest. And then we continue that evening with our National iAwards Gala Dinner. And there we essentially announce the best of the best within Australia. In December, we have the Asia Pacific ICT Awards, which we also refer to as APICTA, where our National iAwards winners and merit recipients are invited to pitch on the international stage, and it's super exciting. And last year, in 2018, we were, we had such a great time. We took 33 delegates to APICTA in Guangzhou in China, and it was a fantastic time. There was lots of networking, and we also visited Austrade as well and had some really good sort of, we received a market briefing and understood the Chinese market and how our iAwards entrants could essentially make the most of the Asian market, in particular China. And if they wanted to explore business opportunities, it was such a great learning experience for them too. And I also know that we've had some people go back to China as well, sort of for more business opportunities. So APICTA is definitely, I guess, it's the end of the journey, but it means that you've made it, and you've really had a validation of your ideas as well if you've made it that far. So tips on entering. So we've also got another video that I definitely encourage you to watch. Our iAwards Chief Judge from 2014 to 2018. It's not a video, but it's still very much applicable to this year's iAwards competition. So it's just quick tips on how to best answer the judging criteria with our iAwards Chief Judge from previous years, Fulvio and Sarah. We encourage everyone to write clearly and concisely. Sometimes people might, write their form and they're very technically driven, but you want to remember that our judges come from a diverse backgrounds. So not everyone might not come from, an industrial and primary industries background, or they might not understand certain terminologies that you use. If you use abbreviations, make sure you tell us what it is at the beginning, and then you can continue to use it in your application. So just be mindful that you're writing clearly and concisely, and I encourage you to get someone from your team just to read over it, and if it doesn't make sense to them, then it's a good indication that you might want to rewrite your entry, so it's clearly understood by all our judges. Make sure you address all the judging criteria. I have had in the past people write, not applicable in some questions, and that really is essentially you're jeopardizing your points at the end of the day. So make sure you don't leave any questions unanswered, and write to the best that you can, and really validate your claims. There's an opportunity to insert links in your answers. So if you want to link, if you've got an R&D project or any project really, and you've got some papers that you've published, make sure you put those papers, link articles. If you even have a diagram that you want to link, we don't have an opportunity for attachments, but if you want to upload something on your website and you want to link it in your answers, definitely do that. Make the most, validate all your claims, and give the judges the right information that they need so that they can judge you in the best way. There's an optional question, and we ask you to submit a 60-second video. This is optional, but I definitely encourage you guys to make the most of it. It might require a bit of work. You know, you got to put a video, upload it, etc. But you can simply just upload it on your iPhone or record it from your iPhone. It doesn't have to be professionally produced. Some people might want that option. They might already have a video that they have that they think they could use in this section as well. But if you think about coming from a judge's perspective, the judges will be reading probably between 15 to 20 applications. So you want to, this video will bring your application to life essentially, and it will just communicate what you're trying to say in a different way. And I guess this visual, it does help. And from a marketing perspective, so from my perspective, if I find some videos that don't sort of have any intellectual property that's in there and it's generic, then I actually try to use these in our marketing as well and try to give all our entrants an opportunity to be recognised too. So especially in social media, when we're ramping up the iAwards gala dinners, we want to give you guys the exposure. So I might also use it from a marketing perspective as well. So take the most of it, record the video. We've had people record it on their iPhone with a whiteboard in the background, and a few sort of hand-drawn notes or whatever it is, some pictures or some diagrams. So I don't want you to fuss too much about this, but just make sure you do put something on there so the judges have something to watch. We also have a section in our entry form, and we require 2 referees. And essentially the referees should be your end user of your innovation. So they should be external to your organisation. They should not have been part of the development of your innovation, because that could be a conflict essentially. But the judges may, you know, on occasion call your referees, and they're asking them to validate your claims in your application. So that's why they should be end users, because we want to know, we want to understand, you know, how has the application benefited the referee as the end user? How has it made a difference to their work, to their life? You know, what problem has it solved for them? So that's really what we're asking the referees. Make sure you do notify them before you put their name down in the application form, because we don't want any surprises that we're contacting them and they might not be able to you know, answer any questions, because in that sort of judging process, we do need a quick turnaround on our judging, because we need to, you know, sort of have everything in order for our iAwards gala dinners. So when our judges are going through that reference text, we just want to make sure that they're ready, I guess, to take any of our questions. And also, most importantly, the last point there, have fun and enjoy the journey. It's such a fantastic opportunity to be part of the iAwards. We definitely have a lot of fun, especially when everyone comes together for all the celebrations, when you get to receive feedback from our judges. It's fantastic. So we do encourage everyone to be part of it. So just some final tips when you're about to submit your entry. Don't wait until the last day to submit your entry. I do know that there are some organisations that go through a strict approval process. So you might not realise how long that takes. And if you wait until the last day to get that approval and to finish your entry, essentially, you could delay when you submit, or you might even miss the deadline. So I do encourage everyone to, you know, give yourself a couple of weeks as a deadline. If you need to go through that approval process, give yourself some extra time as well. You also will need a credit card at the final stage, which also I find might slow some people down in that process, because they might not have access to a corporate credit card, or there's approval processes as well. So if you are facing any sort of issues, definitely get in touch with myself. But just be mindful that these are the steps that you need to consider when preparing your timelines and getting your entry ready for submissions. And if you do want to submit your entry before the deadline, just remember that we allow you to edit your submission and your answers up until the final deadline. So even though you submitted, you can always log in anytime after that and submit it, but you can only edit up until the final deadline, which is the 21st of February. So here are some testimonials from our past winners from last year. And I thought it's really great for you guys to see, because it gives you a perspective from the entrance point of view, which will be essentially yourselves as you're watching this. So, you know, we've got Michelle Lawson from Blamey Saunders here, who took out the National iAward for R&D Project of the Year. And basically, Michelle says, if you're looking for a capital raise or market expansion, then the iAwards is a great opportunity for networking and exposure. We've also got Richard Savoy from Stayville, who took out the National iAward for Big Data of the Year in 2018. And Richard says that the iAwards has given us the opportunity to connect with Australia's industry stakeholders and create relationships within our target market. It has also provided an expert-led platform to validate our business model with industry leaders and get their feedback. So that's just a bit of some testimonials from our past winners as well. We've also got a lot of blogs and entry posts from our past winners on our blog post on our website as well, so you're more than welcome to check that out to hear what others have to say as well. So just to summarise this presentation as we draw to an end, the iAwards is all about solving problems with technology. So if you have an outstanding innovation that is making a difference, that is solving problems, then definitely we want to hear about it, and the iAwards is an opportunity for you. We represent all markets across Australia, so you know, it could be from business to consumer to education to human resources, you know, you name it, there's a spot for you in the iAwards. If you are unsure where you sit, get in touch and I can walk you through the process. On our website, we also have the category descriptions listed as well, with examples of with examples of markets. So go to our categories page on our website, or just have a chat with me and I can definitely help you through that process. Joint entries between clients and developers are definitely encouraged. So definitely it's important to acknowledge the team. So if you've worked with multiple organisations, they can be acknowledged as well. Our entries close the 21st of February 2019, and yeah, have fun and enjoy that process. So if you do want to take advantage of the early bird offer, we've got the code there, earlybird 2019, and that will save 10% off your entry fee. So if you submit that by the 11th, if you submit your entry by the 11th of January, then you can continue to refine and edit your entry and complete it by the 21st of February. So members, we've also got a special discount code for you as well. So feel free to email me and I can send that code for you too. And also startups that are registered from 2016 and students, remember it's a free entry for you guys. So there's really nothing for you to lose. Lastly, I'd like to say thank you so much to our generous sponsors. And if you're interested in sponsorship as well, feel free to get in touch because we have lots of opportunities for you to be involved in the iAwards, and we can also bespoke them as well and tailor them to your needs. So these are my contact details. My name is Elizabeth. Thank you for joining us today in this presentation. Feel free to get in touch if you've got any questions. We're always here to help. Make sure you do follow us on Twitter and Facebook for all our updates as well. So thank you very much for joining us and all the best in your iAwards journey. Thank you.